Hello! So I'm gonna play with markers a bit today. The guys at Ohuhu sent me a big old set of markers. It's like 216 colours, which is really nice of them. It also came with a big thick sketchbook and a set of 8 fine liners. This came at a really good time because recently I've been watching a ton of YouTubers who are doing a lot of traditional stuff, like a lot of sketchbooking, a lot of just playing with materials, and it got me really wanting to do similar videos. And then these guys sent me an email and I was like, oh, well that's pretty perfect. This will give me a kick up the bum to actually do it. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter or Tumblr, you could probably see that I've been doing a lot of sketchbooky stuff recently and just falling in love with traditional media again. So this came at a pretty perfect time. So thank you, Ohuhu. Let's give these a go. So you can see me here testing the fine liners. It comes with a set of 8. It has this nice brush one here. And then I'm testing them real quick with a water brush just to see that they don't bleed, which they don't. Good job, nice. But enough of that, let's look at their markers, which came all in different colours, so I emptied them out and reordered them and had a lot of fun doing it. As you can see, there we go, it's better. I put all the pales in one spot because I love my pale colours. It's nice with markers. So I thought I'd start out just with a few tests just to play around. So first I just kind of get a feel for the nibs. So these are the Honolulu series, which are very similar to Copics. So they have a brush nib there and a chisel nib. And I'm starting to quite like the chisel nib these days. I know the brush nib was always all the rage, but the chisel nib is so nice for like blocking out colour and making like cool blocky textures. Here I'm just trying out with a simple sphere with 2 different colours just to see how they go. And then I thought I'd do some blending tests as well, because these are meant to be Copic mimics. They're a competitor to Copics, so they're nice blendable alcohol markers. And I'm not a huge marker person, so I don't know entirely what I'm doing, but I managed to get these to blend really nicely. Now these are some nice pale pastel colours which I got to blend pretty easily. Also did another little sphere test there. I ended up really liking these colours and using them for everything. This like pale orange and pale blue, I absolutely loved them together. There's me admiring them there. I also did a test with some brighter, more vivid colours so that I could stop being a baby and use some bright colours. So I tried here with 2 very similar colours and they blended really quite nicely. You can see the real shine of the ink on the paper, there, so it bleeds through there. And they give you a plastic sheet to put on the other side of the page to prevent it bleeding onto the next page, which is really nice because these markers are juicy. They are very full of ink, and to blend you need quite a bit, at least I think. So here I'm trying to blend 2 opposing colours together, and you can see I struggle a little bit, but it kind of does something. You can see the alcohol ink really like bleeding together, which is nice. I did try it on another little sphere, which I think turned out a lot better. It's always going to be hard blending opposing colours, to be honest, because they're just so different in colour families, but you can make it work. Now it also comes with a colourless blender, similar to Copics, and I just try that on this pale colour here, just into the paper, and that does it really well. You can see it's really juicy and uses up a lot of ink there as well, and it also bleeds through, so just be wary of that. These are thirsty markers. But here I test it blending 2 colours together, and you can see it does it quite nicely there as well. But you have to expect the blender to sap the ink a bit, so it'll pale it out a little bit. Okay, so after those little tests, I decided to, actually use them. So I thought I'd like to do like a pale cat, because pale colours you can layer up pale colours really nicely. So I decided so I was going to do a white cat, then I was like, oh man, we should do a snow Bengal, because snow Bengals are stunning, and they're very pale, but they have those really nice lynx point colorations, so I was like, sure, let's do a snow Bengal. Now I ended up not really liking the actual drawing that much. My fault for going straight into ink. I made his head quite big compared to his face, but what are you gonna do? Things can't be perfect, can they? I had a lot of fun just kind of mixing colours together at the beginning and seeing what would work. So I'm always very scared of using dark colours when it comes to traditional, so I'm going in with a lot of pales at the beginning and layering them up. I'm kind of using them a bit like how I use watercolour, so like really build up the pales at the beginning and then go in with the darks. And it did trip me up when doing some tests before this, because I'm used to blending paint out. So like when you blend paint together, you like blend it out, but with markers, you know, you have to kind of blend them in. So you can have like a dark color and then a light color, and you can like scrub the light color into the dark and it'll blend quite nicely. So that took a bit of getting used to, but once I got used to it, that was really satisfying. Like on the ears, when I layered down the darker pinks and then brought in the sort of lighter pinky orange on top and blended that in, that was really satisfying. And of course I had fun with that on the eyes as well, a lot of blending going on. And then towards the end here, I was like, when I introduced that nice teal to the eyes, I was like, oh man, I want that teal elsewhere. So I introduced that teal to the rest of the head as well. And then was like, oh crap, I probably went too crazy, tried to blend it through a little bit, added a bit of brown, and then I was like, you know what, I'll add a background and then the teal will make sense. And I added a teal background. And I do quite like how it turned out color-wise. It was a lot of fun to make. I actually did another piece with these, but I think I'll put that in a separate video because my boyfriend helped me film it all pretty, and I think it deserves to stand alone a little bit. But here's this finished piece. I actually really liked the colours in the end. I just love me a teal. Just green and blue together makes me so happy. But anyway, thank you Ohuhu for sending these, and thank you for watching. I'd love to try doing more like this. But for now, I'll see you next time.